Welcome to another episode of Sage Studio. I'm Tiffiny Webster, and today I am so excited to bring three of our teachers from the Virtual Learning Academy onto the podcast today. I'm going to start by welcoming Kathleen Duguid. Hi, Kathleen. How are you?
Hello, I'm well, Tiffany. Thank you. I teach first grade, and this is my 10th year at Sage Oak.
Oh my gosh, that is so great. We're so lucky to have you. And Christina, welcome to the podcast. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. My name is Christina Trujillo, and I'm the second grade teacher at VLA, and I've been here for 5 years.
And Amanda Saunders. Welcome to the podcast, Amanda.
Hi, I am a third grade teacher at Sage Oak, and I have been here for 4 years.
When new families are looking into Sage Oak, they are so excited to see that we offer a virtual learning academy program. But understandably, there's a lot of questions that come up about how does this really work? So today I'm going to be leaning on you to dig in and give us all the details. And I'm going to start with you, Christina. When it comes to working with a whole class of students, first of all, shine a little light on how many students are in a virtual learning classroom. And what does this look like when you're trying to give whole group instruction online to students?
Our classes range from 24 to 28,
Okay.
and it's a lot of fun. We really try to start our mornings off energetically. We do calendar, which a lot of students do in a brick and mortar classroom. And we also try to build relationships with our students and make sure that our students are building that classroom community with each other. So we'll usually have a morning meeting. We'll have a getting to know you question, a would you rather type of question. And I know that most of us aim to have all of our students speak out sometime during that morning meeting. So that way they're talking with us and they're listening to one another, trying to give each other some social skills as well. And I'm just really building a classroom community so that way they're ready to learn and to collaborate more while we're giving direct instruction in breakout rooms and things like that.
When you're doing these morning meetings in these conversations, visually, what does it look like? Is it just the teacher on the screen? Is it the teacher on the screen and students on the side?
Usually I have my morning meeting slide, which I'm presenting to my students, has the question so that way they can look at it and read about it, think about it. But when we're talking, we do have our special spotlight button so we can spotlight myself when I'm giving instruction. I want them really focused on me. But when we start talking, I let the spotlight go on whoever's speaking at the moment so that way they can see each other and then they put the face to the name, and that's really how they get to learn each other's personalities.
How about you, Amanda? Does it work the same in your virtual classroom as well?
Yes, we also follow the same path as doing morning slides every morning. And we throw in a little poll where students can use the Zoom tool to vote whether they would rather have peanut butter and jelly on their sandwich or a turkey sandwich. And so it's really fun. It just gets the kids excited for the day. They can also share with me how they're doing. We have little codes when green, yellow, red, and blue to let me know how they're feeling that day. And they can let me know in the chat. So if I need to check in with them during a break, it just allows me to let me know where they're at. So it is very personalized during this time.
I bet those features like polls and little quizzes and surveys like that can be really helpful. How about for you, Kathleen, with a virtual room full of first graders? What is that like in the morning, and how do you start your day with those kiddos?
We also start with a morning meeting and a check-in. So on Tuesdays, they get to draw their face on their whiteboard. Sometimes a lot of them are a little bit sleepy. We're getting started with our week. And then one of the other days, we just do thumbs up, thumbs down. So we are doing those daily check-ins also. What I love about our morning meetings, we do the would you rather. So some of them are super silly and everybody wants to answer. So I take a handful of kiddos that volunteer and then I put them into breakout rooms. This week, one of the choices is, would you rather be a king or a queen or an ogre? And so we're writing about fairy tales. And so the kids get to go into a breakout room and share with their friends, but they always have to give a supporting reason. So they can't just say, I want to be an ogre. So they get to hear, they get to laugh, they get to have fun. But again, like my colleagues have said, it's really building those relationships between the students.
So for parents who might not even know what a breakout room is, explain how a breakout room is different than a whole classroom environment in a virtual learning academy.
Our direct instruction is when we want students to get the whole lesson. When we do breakout rooms, it is a feature that we use in Zoom where we can select which students are going to be in the same group together. Maybe different groups are given different questions that they can answer. So these are teacher created rooms. A screen will pop up saying, Mrs. Duguid wants you to join room 1 or 2, 3, or 4. And they go into another area where it's a little bit more intimate. You're not speaking in front of all 26 classmates. So when they go into breakout rooms, they're ready to go. We've given them the question or the task at hand, and we're putting them into strategically placed groups to work together.
I love that.
Another
It's
thing
such a great way for them to be able to receive some whole group instruction all together in once. But then, like you said, when you put them in those breakout rooms, it's a little bit smaller. They can open up a little bit and interact with that. Amanda, how are you using these breakout rooms? Talk to me about that.
I love breakout rooms for writing workshop. On Wednesdays, we allow them to do a bit of free writing. And so we typically do a think, pair, share, and then write about a topic. And so they're looking at an image and then they dive deep into that picture and they can create a narrative about it. They can write facts about the picture. They can really just creatively flow. And so they get some time to write on their own. And then they enter these breakout rooms. And this is a great time for them to give constructive criticism to peers and learn from their friends. And it really helps with their writing skills.
Oh, I
And
could
I
see
love it.
how it definitely would. And having that peer review time is really helpful. Does that give you a little time to maybe connect with a few students who might need a little bit of extra support?
Most definitely, because I can keep a room for myself in the main room and help some students that might need a little extra time. And I can also go visit each of the rooms, which is wonderful. So typically, I go check on each room. I can see with the little microphones if they're unmuting or not. And if I see if they're all red, which means none of them are unmuting, I sometimes go pop in there and start up the conversation, maybe
Mm.
encourage them to start sharing, ask somebody to go first, maybe share my own ideas first. And it allows me to see that they're all participating, all playing a part in it. And I can hear their conversations within those groups too as I pop in. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, so good. How about for you, Christina? Do you use these breakout rooms in the same way or maybe differently for other subjects?
Yeah, in second grade, they love to chat about the writing. So it's always like that brainstorming time. Hey, before we write, why don't you guys just tell your neighbor they want to vocalize it before they write it? So they go and they tell their partner what they're going to write about as a pre-write. And then in math, we also love using breakout rooms. I'll give them a problem of the day, something that takes a little bit of critical thinking. And we usually have some time, just quiet time in class for let them work through it. And then we will put them in a breakout room so that way they can chat with their partner, see if they got to the same solution, share their actual work, like how did they get to that solution? And again, I'm looking at those little microphones, making sure that they're actually having conversations. They also can signal for help if them and their partner just do not agree on an answer. They can ask for help and I can go straight into that room. Or they can give me a green check, meaning, Mr. Hill, we got this. We agree. We both feel good about our answers. Like, we're ready for the next challenge.
Now, Kathleen, I know you do something fun and exciting with this small group opportunity. So tell me a little bit about that.
So one of the really fun things that my kiddos the last couple of years have loved is when we have small group time, we have focused on the class news. So students will get the opportunity to share what's coming up in the next week as far as lessons, the weather. We do a joke of the day, but students get to record themselves. They get to choose their backgrounds. We call it the class news, and then we share it every Tuesday morning. So if they didn't get the opportunity to watch it on Friday, that came out in the newsletter, they get to watch it in class.
That is so fun. I love that they get to turn the tables and give that virtual presentation. That's a lot of fun for them. I can see why they would totally love that. Let's take a minute and talk about what personalization looks like in this environment, because I know personalization is such a core value of Sage Oak, but it looks a little different in a virtual academy versus like maybe our personalized academy or our high school program. So Kathleen, talk to me a little bit about what personalization looks like in the virtual learning academy.
So we are a little bit different than the PLA. That is because our curriculum needs to be the same for all of the kiddos that are in our classroom. So that's a big difference. But we want to make sure students have access to grade level curriculum and that they all have access to the same materials. So when I ask them to take out their giraffe book, that's one of our language arts, Reach for Reading, they all have the same book.
Mm.
So PLA, they meet with their teachers once every 20 learning days. We get to see them multiple times throughout the week. So we're making those little tweaks and adjustments, and it can go from, hey, so-and-so needs this, or so-and-so needs this, or I need to challenge this one. This guy's getting it. Let's go. Also, all of our students have the ability to access online subscriptions where students can go to anytime after their direct instruction. And they can read at their own ability. They can challenge themselves. They can do just so many other activities that are not teacher
Teacher
assigned.
selected. Yeah, teacher
Teacher
assigned.
assigned, teacher select, to also grow and that personalization.
I think something that you said was really important, and that is you have a huge advantage because you're live with these kids a couple days a week. So you get to make those little adjustments that you are an expert at as a teacher. And those little nuances are really where the differences is made. It's all those little things about helping students just with the little things that they need. So I love that you mentioned that because I think that's just so invaluable. And Amanda, I saw you head nodding throughout that. So tell me some of the things that you're doing that are also in alignment with personalization or differentiating instruction for your kids.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about small groups in that sense. We're able to use that time for reteaching when it comes to math. If we want to practice fractions, equivalent fractions, I can pull in students to make sure they're really understanding those power standards. And then I can also challenge those students that would like to just be in enrichment classes. And so we can pull those students in to do Socratic seminars with novel studies, which is wonderful. So we're doing that with the book Because of Winn-Dixie right now with some of our students, just diving deeper into those stories. And then we also give time for homework help. So students can bring their questions from homework and meet with the teacher one-on-one or with a small group and ask questions on a word problem and how to solve it. And we can really understand where they're struggling and help them in those areas. And another way that they can really personalize their own learning is the option for Oak School. They are allowed to join these classes on Mondays and Fridays, and they can take these classes where they can learn how to cook. They can do art classes. They can build Legos. There are so many exciting STEM classes on there. It's really endless. And so all of these allow the students to feel like their instruction is personalized.
So good. And Christina, how about for those asynchronous days? If they're not in a Oak School class, are there other projects or other assignments that they might be working on that could be personalized to their interest level or academic level?
Yeah, so for my second graders, we have enrichment club that we do, and a lot of it is out of class. These are kids who are highly motivated, highly driven, and they want to do extra service projects, which is another one of our core values. And so we meet together, we encourage one another, we give each other ideas. But they go and do it. And they share their pictures or what they're doing on their projects. They've made kindness rocks and wanted to show us where they planted them. And we really try to navigate those enrichment projects based on what our students like and enjoy, and then help them keep them motivated to keep reaching and striving to try new things. So it's a lot of fun.
I think one of the things about VLA that is just so special is both the virtual and the in-person connection that these students have with one another. They are online together and they are doing things together online, but they're also getting together in person. Kathleen, how are your first graders getting together in person? What opportunities do they have?
So the VLA has amazing field trips, and we meet at least once a month. So not only grade level, but also whole school field trips. So if you have siblings that are in 5th grade, they can also attend the whole school field trip. So that is awesome. We have 2 grade level field trips per year that are just specifically for 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. So that's the time where we come together and it's, hey, I want to see all 26 of my kiddos. So coming up, I'm really excited. We're going down to the San Diego Air and Space Museum because in science, we're learning all about space.
How about for you, Christina? Yeah, tell me about some of the field trips or interactions that you're seeing.
I just absolutely adore seeing my second graders when they get to see each other. This last winter social in December, I had a kid send me and says, Mrs. Trujillo, this is like unreal. I was so just overwhelmed with emotion to see his friends in real life and not through the screen. And at 2nd grade, we just went to the Discovery Cube in Anaheim. And then we went and had a field trip at the Living Desert in Palm Springs. We try to make our field trips in different areas. So we have different students that might not be able to attend one, could try to attend the other, but they're always a great time. And it really makes our program special, I feel.
So good. Amanda, tell us, what is it like for third graders? I bet they want to get in on this action too.
Yes, we also got lucky to get the chance to go to the Discovery Cube and learn about force and magnetic forces using race cars. It was so fun this year. And now we have our second field trip coming up where we are attending a farm and we're going to learn about life cycles and get to just spend time with real animals, llamas, things like that. It's going to be a wonderful time. And it's just such a great time for these students to see each other face to face, and selfishly for the teachers too. I love to see them in real life and connect with them, especially at the socials that are all grade levels. I get to see my students that I had that are now in sixth grade and see how they're doing and connect with them and their parents. I feel like we've become such a family. I'm not only close with the students, but their parents, because we see each other daily. And it's just such a wonderful experience to all see each other in person. And just like Christina was saying, in the area that meets them best. So since we serve children in different parts of Southern California, we're able to provide a field trip in almost all of those parts. And so it's so wonderful to be able to maybe do just a 20-minute drive for this field trip. And so you don't have to sacrifice too much if you don't want to drive too far. We always will have a field trip near you at some point.
I bet it's priceless. I bet their little faces are just the sweetest when you get a chance to really connect in person. So amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of those great stories. We could literally go on for hours about all the amazing things that are happening over at the Virtual Learning Academy. And parents are thrilled, students are happy. The teachers obviously have great rapport with one another and are very close and collaborative, which is always good to see. And it's no wonder why it's such a special program. We're so happy to have it part of Sage Oak. And for any parents that are listening today and you are at all thinking about the Virtual Learning Academy, I highly suggest that you go and visit our website, which is www.sageoak.education, and check out one of the upcoming webinars. Listen in on all of the other things that are happening over at the Academy, and definitely consider it a possibility for you if it sounds like it might be a good fit for you and your students and your family. All right, you three, thank you so much for joining me on the Sage Studio podcast. I wish you all the best as you wrap up this school year. So thanks so much for being here, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you.